What's going on? This your girl Miko and bringing you Miko in the city. Today we got a hot topic. Today's subject is how I predicted my baby father's death. You want to tune in?
With the gangsters, all the people you don't hang with. We don't speak the same language. Party with the gangsters, whole lot of gangsters. Make a dirty feel like main bitch. Party with the gangsters, all the people you don't hang with. We don't speak the same language. Party with the gangsters, whole lot of gangsters. Make a dirty feel like main bitch.
Okay, great. Welcome to Miko in the City. This your girl Miko, and we're gonna jump right into the story. If you don't know me, welcome to my channel. Please hit the subscribe, like button, and follow me on all the social medias. YouTube, you can follow me on Facebook. Anywhere you think about me, I'm there. So go ahead and type in Miko Ruffin, and I'll go ahead and I will give you any feedback or any engagement that you want to go ahead and talk about. So right now, as you can see, the title of this story is How I Predicted My Child's Father's Death. This is a very true story. This is very sensitive. This is happening on true events. So if I do get emotional and then, I get stopped up or stumble over a couple words, please bear with me because I am an emotional gangster. Regardless of what you feel about me, I do have a lot of emotions. And this is about my oldest son's father. So again, I have a son named Donald. I met his dad in eighth grade. So I met Donald in eighth grade, and it was just like I ain't gonna say love at first sight because I don't feel like at eighth grade you really know if you love somebody. But most definitely, I was really intrigued by him, and I really thought he was handsome. At that moment, he was chubby, but all the girls want him. Like, that made me want him even more. So from eighth grade all the way up to my adulthood, we was on and off. I was in between, doing my thug thizzle. We young, you hot in the streets. You feel me? But most definitely, he was most definitely my first love, my first everything. To be honest, my first kiss, my first sexual encounter, and my first son's dad. So he most definitely have a major impact on my life. So before I begin the story, these is true events. Allegedly, on my point of view, this is not to say these are facts, but this is what is coming from me and me only. So we're gonna go ahead and start the story. So we had a child together, baby Donald, when I was 19. And what's so crazy about us having baby Donald? Listen, when I first met Donald, he walked up to me in the eighth grade and he was trying to holler at me. And when he hollered at me in class, he had these goals in his mouth. Back in the day, them goals was popping. Everybody had them molded goals with the diamond cuts in them. And when he was talking to me, his goals fell out. And at that moment, we both laughed and we was inseparable. Like, I feel like that embarrassing moment was the best icebreaker you can have when you are starting to date somebody. So, nevertheless, when he met me in eighth grade, I know he's crazy. So make sure y'all talk to your children about sex at a very young age because I wasn't taught. I had to learn on my own. And that's what probably contributes me to being a teen mother. So he used to say, like, you gonna have my first son. And I'm like, boy, ain't nobody gonna have your baby. Like, I remember this story. And he was like, I don't care what you talking about. You are going to have my first son. And I'm like, okay. Time goes on. We make up, break up, make up, break up, make up, break up, all the way up to 1920. So 1920, we're on again. And at this point, we're real serious to a point that like families are engaging and he's over my house all the time. I'm over his house. At the time he was staying with his father. I met his mom minimum at that time, but I was active over his grandma and his dad's house. So nevertheless, um, I was on Mirena. This was crazy. Oh my God. I was on birth control. And on Valentine's Day, I remember exactly. Don't know if you're watching this. Go ahead and close your ears. On Valentine's Day, we made baby Donald. I don't care what nobody say. I feel like when a woman is so in tune with her body, she know the exact moment she get pregnant. It's like the chemistry in your body changes. It's like a weird sensation. No, I'm not talking about an orgasm for anybody. I'm talking about just like a chemistry body change. So at that moment, I kind of did know I was pregnant, but I wasn't anticipating because I already had Soraya, and Soraya is my oldest daughter. So time goes by. and I get a positive pregnancy test. He's ecstatic. I'm happy. Even though we was teenagers at the moment in a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So regardless of if we wasn't ready, we was happy that Donald was coming along at the time. At the time. So nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead and admit my wrong. I was young and I was the breadwinner. I'm mostly the breadwinner, no shade to none of my exes. I'm mostly the breadwinner in most of my relationships. And I have to admit that I could carry an ego of I want to do what I want to do because I make the money, which is not always a good thing, ladies. You know what I'm saying? You will miss out on many opportunities of good men or deteriorating good men because of their moment of being broken or down. Let's put it down. And at that time, I kind of used that for my advantage. So I was working at H&R Block, and make a long story short, y'all, I cheated, and he found out while I was pregnant. So that's a major no-no, y'all. Like I learned that now. That's the major no-no. And at the time, Donald had my name tattooed on his arm. And I felt like he took it the hardest this time because I think this time he really was putting a effort forward. A lot of people don't understand where our feud started because I never talked about where it started. Everybody knew when me and Donald feud exploded, but they didn't know the main reason. You understand what I'm saying? So, excuse me, y'all. So, nevertheless, that's where the feud started. It was real big. It was a big impact at the time. I had a Monte Carlo. I remember me trying to drive off, and he jumped in my car and pulled my what you call this? What do you call this handle?
Emergency brake?
No, the you do
Gear
drive.
shifter?
Yeah, the shift. He pulled it back so hard that it messed up my transmission. That's how hurt he was. Like out of all our years of dating, I've never seen him cry. But I see him cry that day when he went through my phone and found out that I cheated. So I knew at that moment that it was never gonna be the same. I didn't know it was gonna get intense as it is going to get. I'm gonna tell you in the story, but I knew at that moment I had broke a man's heart. And I feel like overall of anything, I feel like that is the worst feeling ever. Regardless of, him cheating on me numerous times before, because me and Donnie, I understand we've been dating on and off while we was finding ourselves from 8th grade to 19. Even then, you don't even know who you truly are, but you got to understand going through all those changes with somebody. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like at this moment, he was really putting himself forward to show me that he could be a good man. And at the time, I was looking for a get back at the wrong moment. You understand? And sometimes, ladies, I'm getting off a subject. Revenge is not always the answer to teach a man to treat you right. And I learned now sometimes life itself will teach a man how to treat you right. You ain't gotta take it in your hands. You feel me? So nevertheless, he broke up with me when I was like 4 months pregnant. We got back cool and we start staying over my mom's house. So he started coming over my mom's house and we start kicking it back and we start, being cool, um, making pranks on my mama. We was just bonding again. So one day I was asleep, y'all. And I was asleep right next to him, and I would never forget it. My mom was on these apartments like on 87th and Blue Ridge. For anybody from Kansas City watching this, you know what apartments I'm talking about. Right there by McDonald's in Grandview. And I remember I woke up in a cold sweat, and it was early in the morning, and I was just crying. I was just drenched in tears. And Donald woke up beside me, was like, what is wrong? What is going on? My mama came running in, she was like, what's going on, Mila? What's going on? And I was like, Mom, I just had a dream that Donald got shot. And Donald, remind you, Donald's right here. And he didn't be like, he didn't brush it off. You can see in his eyes that he was just as scared as I was. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody has ever predicted or said, they fear for your life or anything. I feel like if you already know you in that lifestyle, that's a fear that anybody in the streets will have. So he sat up and he even started crying. He was like, "How did you see it?" Like he was really intrigued. My mom started praying because if you know my mom, Ginger Abner, she is a very, very, very godly woman. Regardless of me and her relationship, she does pray. She does pray for everybody she loves, and she does take her religion very Christianity very serious. So my mom took me to the bathroom and I told him, I was like, listen, I didn't see the full detail. And how I see dreams is I see it in like in picture form, like a flicker. Like you know, when a camera snaps, it goes black, picture, black. That's how I see my dreams. And so I seen him in a white tee, shot up, and then when it flicked back on, he was on the ground bleeding. And so this is exactly what I told him and he's crying. I'm holding him in my arms. My mom is holding me. We're praying for him. We're all in the house just praying. It was a real, real, real intense moment. And yeah, I'm gonna cry. It was a real intense moment. So the next day, my mom was like, listen, we're going to church and we're gonna have the church pray for him. And I remember this day so clearly. We went to Bethlehem Church off of 43rd and 4th. And me and Donald went in, or we sat down, and they called, you know, people who want to give their life to Christ, come to the altar. I would never forget him walking down. I would never forget him walking down the aisle. I would never forget him walking down the aisle and giving his life to Christ. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good moment right now to feel, especially if you do have religion, if you do have belief and you do believe it's the afterlife. I feel like this, even though he's sad he's gone, this is a good moment. I literally witnessed this boy lay down on the floor and cry and lift his hands up and give his life to Christ. Regardless of the rest of the story I'm going to tell y'all, that did happen. So nevertheless, we left church. We went on. We started dating again, but I knew in the back of his mind the cheating, he never let go. You know, I feel like men are more sensitive to women. We are emotional. But I feel like once a woman portrays a man's heart the way I did, it's really hard, if anything, impossible to ever come back from that. Can I be right or wrong? What you think, Solomon? Am I right or wrong about that?
You might be right.
That's what I think. It's like
I mean,
never the
people are
same.
different, but I think yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I just think like y'all males, y'all take it and y'all really can't take it, if that makes sense. So we end up breaking up. And the breakup wasn't pretty, y'all. It wasn't pretty at all. So at this point, the breakup is so bad. He's on the internet saying that baby Donald is not his. He don't know who baby that is. And you know, at the time, I'm still a teenager. I'm still a teenager. You know, processing my emotions, hormonal, 8, 9 months pregnant. And the man that told me when I met him in 8th grade, I'm gonna have his first son, he is denying. I mean, it was bad, y'all. It was so bad. We would be fighting in the street. And if nobody knows, this is a true story. I remember one time me and my sister was in a car. He was in a car with his cousin and he shot at, it was bad. He shot at my car. Like, I don't know if he really hated me or if he was heartbroken now that I look back out of it, but I want to get in detail how deep the beef was. This beef was real bad. So, I eventually had baby Donald and at the hospital with my friend. He did not show up. He did not come. Let me tell you how desperate I was for him to show up. Even though he shot at my car and denied baby Donald all through the pregnancy, I still called him and let him know he was born. And you want to know what he told me when I called him? He was like, "Go find your baby daddy. Don't call my phone," and hung up in my face. Listen, males, gentlemen, I'm a firm believer. Even if you do not believe a child is yours, if you are a possibility, you need to be a possibility of being involved in the child's life until proven wrong. This is my philosophy. Because if you put yourself in predicament with a woman you're not committed to put you in that category of a maybe, I mean, what's the worst that can really happen is that you sit there and you make sure that a woman that you impregnated is good for the 9 months and it's not yours, you're going about your way. Or you can sit there and be cruel to somebody carrying your child for 9 months, gave birth for you, and in 18 years, it's a mess. You understand what I'm saying? So at that moment, that brought out the demon in me. Because at this moment, I was taking all his negativity and all his lashings at me because I felt guilty about cheating. But at this moment, the baby is here and you're still stumping me down when I'm in the hospital, stitched up, have nobody in the hospital. You know, I'm not gonna say nobody. I don't have the child's father in the hospital with me. So I'm feeling incomplete. I'm feeling worthless. I'm feeling um like a statistic. I feel like that's a good way to put it. I'm feeling like a statistic. And so I call back again. I am so desperate to have his father see this child. Like my son is a replica of his daddy. Like at the end, I'm gonna add some pictures of him and my son. There are spitting images. So I called again. I even lied. What was the lie I told? I said, "Oh, he needs a blood transfusion, and they saying that the donor has to be the father. Can you come up here and get tested?" He said, "Fuck you," and hung up. So at this, yeah, so at this moment, it's demon time. Like I was ready. I was ready. I said, you know what? I am not sitting back no more. I'm not taking his BS. I don't feel bad no more. At this point, he's being ruthless. So it's time for me to be ruthless back to him. I'm not turning the cheek. I ain't Jesus. I'm tired of my mama praying because it ain't helping. So you know what? He want a bitch. I'm gonna give him a bitch. And so let the drama begin. So after my sister pulled out my son, so my sister pulled out my son. Shout out to Hazel Marie. If y'all know her in Kissing Missouri, most definitely my sister. Love you. And I always will be in debt to you for being there with me while I gave birth when nobody else was in the hospital. So most definitely shout out to her. So I gave birth, took Donald home, and I start raising motherfucking hell, y'all. Not gonna lie. If you know me, you know me in person, and you know when I get on that revenge shit, I'm that bitch. It's not funny now, but it got bad. So at this time, Donald's refusing to see the baby. So at this time, I'm pulling up. So freshly at the hospital, Stitch is not even 3 days old. Guess who pulled up on who? Yes, I did. I put up on him real quick. Pull up real quick. Pull up. Shout out to Mimi. That's her song. Pull up real quick. I put up real quick. So I'm ready. I got my shoes on. My stepmother, Chantel, went with me because at this time, me and my mom's relationship was up and down. So I had my stepmother assist me to go over to his family house where he was at so he can see the baby. Donald was like 3 days old. However old you are when you leave the hospital, I went straight to his house. And I went there and I'm ready. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to beat him up. So I got my tennis shoes on, got my hospital drawers. They go all the way up your stomach on, my sweats and my t-shirt. So my stepmom, I'm like, when we go in here, you gonna just be calm. I'm like, girl, come on, let's go. So I grabbed the baby and I knock on the door. His grandma let me in. I was like, is Donald here? She's like, yeah, he's here. So I came in and I set the baby on the couch. Yes, I have photographic memory. I set the baby on the couch and Donald come upstairs like, why is she here? And I uncovered the baby. Y'all, this caught me off guard when I'm going to tell you what happened next. He started crying. He started crying. Like all the animosity and I'm ready to fly off and fight, it died. Like it died down. You understand what I'm saying? This man full blown and baby, let me tell you, my baby father ain't no punk. So I told you, I only see him cry one other time, and that's when I cheated. This is the second time I've ever seen him cry. And that's when he's seen baby Donald's face. And at that moment, I truly believe that he didn't think that baby Donald was his. And I think when he seen baby Donald, he like, damn, I've really been dogging this girl out. And this is my son. Like when I say my son has no feature of me, he is every spitting image of his daddy. So, ladies, if you hate your baby father and you don't want to see him every day, you better start thinking about something else because that baby gonna come out looking just like him. When I say my son don't got no feature of me, he don't got no feature of me. So he ran out the house. And I'm like, at that moment, I'm back. My blood boil. I'm a Gemini. So I can go from happy, sad in 2.5 seconds. And I'm about to chase after him. My stepmom grabbed my arm and said, no. He is processing that he is somebody's daddy. Let that man breathe. Let that man go. Because I didn't think like that. I'm thinking like, oh, he's running away again. He's leaving me alone. But my mom, my stepmom, I call her my mom, but I'm going to say my stepmom because my mom see this podcast and me calling her mom, she go through a Holy Ghost fit. So my stepmom, I'm happy she was there. She made me realize that he was processing that he had treated his son for 9 months bad, and he had talked so much stuff about something that's really his. It hurted him. It hurted him. But do y'all think I listened when my mom told me just to go ahead and let him process that? We're going to do a poll, yes or no? No, I didn't. I chased after him like a dummy. So I'm chasing him down the street on 75th and Truth. If you're from Kansas City and I'm saying these streets, you know what I'm talking about. I'm chasing him down and he like, leave me alone. I'm like, you better get back here. Remind you, I just got to the hospital and I got stitches in my vagina. So why the fuck am I chasing him? When I'm older now, I be thinking about some of this shit I did. I'm like, why? But anyway, I'm chasing him and he's running. And baby, even though my baby father was a cocky kind of, he wasn't fat, hefty dude. That dude run like what's that dude from Fat Albert? He run like Fat Albert. You know how Fat Albert run real fast. He be gone. So I couldn't catch him. So I let him
I
go.
don't remember Fat Albert running fast.
No, we're gonna look it up.
We're gonna have to look that up.
He runs super fast. So I let him go. I got Donald and my stepmother's in the car, like, listen, I know you angry. I know he treated you bad for so long, but I was with you. I thought he was just being mean to you, but I really think he didn't think that baby was his. Because any man that cries like that, reality is hitting him. You feel me? But again, I was young and I wasn't processing things like I'm processing it now. You understand what I'm saying? So when I tell you the rest of the story, please keep in mind that I was really young. Okay, so nevertheless, I'm on Facebook. Okay, so I got a weakness, y'all. I like to vent on Facebook. And that is not a very appropriate time or place to vent. And I'm still learning now and I'm older. You feel me? So went on Facebook like, talking my mess. Oh, this BD, he a deadbeat, So he on there. We're having a Facebook feud. It's going back and forth because he's not backing down. I'm not backing down. Words was exchanging. At this time, family members are getting involved. My stepmom getting involved, arguing with his mom. And, I'm throwing a lot of personal things in his mom's face that was none of my concern, but I knew it hit a soft spot. I never got into it with his daddy, P.S. Never got into it with his daddy. His daddy is cool as hell. But me and mom did not click. But I'm gonna get into that. But nevertheless, the feud was bad. It was all on Facebook. Matter of fact, go ahead. We're gonna pull up. We're gonna give you some examples of how bad this was. This is back in 2011. You can see right here how he feels about me. What it says, Mila. Okay, for y'all don't know, I got some personalities. Kane is my other personality. Kane Ruffin. Keep playing on my phone. I wasn't even tripping until she did. She said that she would fuck my cousins and my daddy. That's some hoe shit. I'm mad. It said, I ain't mad though, because I already know you and your homies go. Like, really though. First of all, that's slander. Not true. Here people gotta understand. I have sex appeal, but I'm not sexually active. We're gonna clear that up right now. Because I don't want none of you fools rolling up in my inbox. This is 2011. He was mad. He knew his homies, and I would never sleep with his cousins or his daddy. Let's put that out there. Never touched him. Especially not his daddy. That's my son, grandpa. You. Anyway, what was the next one? Why would I sign over my rights to my son? Bitch, is you crazy? Okay. You, Mila. You know when dudes use my government name, I know they real mad because he know I don't like my government name. And that dusty ass bitch Sheila, y'all was just funky. Now y'all cool, team up on mobbing ass Gitchy Gitch cause he don't wanna fuck with y'all. These bitches kills me. Okay, so this is a very good examples of how bad we was going back and forth on Facebook. And give you background who Sheila was. Sheila was one of the girls that he cheated on me with first. And we did collaborate because I did reach out to her at the moment to see when the dates and times was, and we squashed our beef. But we did squash our beef because we had a common enemy. You know how that goes. An enemy of my enemies is my what?
Temporary friend.
Friend.
So wait, so you said you collaborated on the dates. Like, so how'd the dates work out?
So, he cheated on me, probably our whole relationship with her, but that's why, yeah, it didn't make sense why he was so hurt that I did it that one time. But that's what I'm talking about. Y'all males cannot take what y'all dish out. I stepped out the church one time, and he gonna have a whole fit.
Is that what it's called, stepping out of the church?
Yeah, what he do? Stepping out the
Yeah.
church.
Well, a lot of males believe that it's more built into our DNA to cheat and not into women's though. So
Well, let me check my DNA, because I got my daddy in me, baby. I'm a Wilson, baby. Nah, I was playing. Mom, I'm just playing. But nevertheless, y'all see the background and y'all see how intense our feud was. Let me tell y'all. I remember one time I have another child, and she's very close with her dad's side of the family, the Downies. And I remember one time I let him get baby Donald, right? I let him get baby Donald, and he got mad at me because I didn't want to pick him up when I wanted to pick him up. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, if you get your son for the weekend, you're gonna keep him for the whole weekend so I can go do my stuff. I was a teenager. I'm still gonna go pop me. I was gonna say something else, but I caught myself. I'm still gonna have fun. And he dropped my son off in the middle of my other child's father's yard and pulled off. It's like you know how embarrassing that is to have somebody else call you, be like, your baby father just dropped off your other kid in front of our house. Like, that is embarrassing. That's how bad it was. Another instant. He didn't want to get, one time I dropped the baby off again with him. And this is around the time that he was dating this girl, which I love now. But at the time, I did not like her. Portia. This is where Portia comes in. Love Portia now, disclaimer. But at the time, I did not know of her. You understand what I'm saying? So, so he used to sneak over my house at a certain time, and his sister used to bring him. Yeah, Shay, I'm telling on you in this podcast. And she will come in and try to be the peacemaker. Shay used to always try to be the peacemaker. And if you go back, if you see the picture in 8th grade, Shay is the one. Matter of fact, pull it up right quick. I'm gonna show you his sister, Deontay. She was coming in the house to be the peacemaker, but she know that she was sneak. I didn't know why she was sneaking him over here at a certain time, and he couldn't come in the daytime or certain times. But 1+1 started adding up. And I'm just like, oh, he got a girlfriend that he hasn't told that he got a baby. You understand? No, that's not Deontay. Oh, we cropped it. Okay, wait. Nevertheless, Deontay was on the other side of the school bus. It doesn't matter. But on this picture, I beat this girl up right here over Donald. Another story time, but that was a good time. Oh, that's the first time I ever got jumped. I ever got jumped by a group of girls. But anyway, nevertheless, back on it. So, he came in one day, first time over my new apartment. I used to stay at Park Highlands, and he would never take pictures with the baby. And at the time, our sister Hazel was over the house, and I was in the room, and I didn't want to see him. So I remember him coming in the room talking about, "Oh, you gonna give me some?" I'm like, "Boy, you just got done dogging me." The audacity. These baby fathers really be thinking they entitled to their baby mother's vagina at any given time. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, that's not true. That is not true. So the moment I told him no, he got upset, and he went to go hold baby Donald for a little bit. And my sister, she's a photographer. Shout out to Hazel Marie. If you need your pictures done, hit her up. But she's a photographer. So she took pictures of him. Front face pictures, him holding the pictures, but she was sneaking them. So he asked to see my sister's phone, right? And she's like, okay, you can see it. And then when she get it back, she noticed that he deleted every picture with his face in it because he didn't want his girlfriend at the time to know he had a baby. That made me feel so low, y'all. So low. So the only pictures that we got to save that he didn't get to because she was snatched it out of his hand when she got it back is these two pictures of a silhouette. Which is, it's still something that my son can hold on, but I want you to know how how a lot of my animosity built up. You understand what I'm saying? So nevertheless, after this, a couple months of going back and forth, a couple months of never having peace. Me and him didn't have peace ever after this moment. We never had peace because that really broke my heart that you are that embarrassed of my child. You understand what I'm saying? And Deontay tried to died down the fire saying like, well, he hasn't told her yet, but I didn't care because I felt like I was a firm believer in your child comes first. You feel me? I don't care about no girlfriend. And I even asked him, I said, hey, can I meet your girlfriend? I mean, we would get into it so bad. He did not want me to meet this girl. I mean, we would get into it bad. So, because let me tell y'all, before I start, I'm not that type of baby mother that I need to be in your business, but I just like to know who's around my children. So if you feel comfortable enough to call this person your spouse or to have them around your child, just like I would give my baby father the same opportunity, I feel like it's nothing wrong for your child's mother to meet the woman that could potentially be influential in your child's life. But when dudes have hidden agendas, that's when they don't want two women to meet. Think about that. But okay, so after that, we feuding, and this big last part happened. He said he was coming by my house, of course, sneaking, right? Sneaking back over my house and to see my son. And he didn't show up. And it could have been a postpartum depression. And let me tell you about some of postpartum depression. He treated me so bad my 9 months of pregnancy, y'all, that when I had baby Donald, I had to go through counseling to even breastfeed him because my son looked so much like the man who was constantly in my life treating me the worst. So I want y'all fellas to really take in consideration women y'all get pregnant and dog out that have to take care of your children full time. That could really weigh on them. That's why a lot of these women are killing their kids. It's not like they're heartless. It's not like they're crazy. A lot of people are diagnosed with postpartum depression real bad and don't have the support system to say, hey, you need help. You're hurting. So he didn't show up. I was hurt because I'm like, hey, you're not gonna start this pattern of telling my son you're going to come and see him and you don't come and see him. So we gonna nip this in the bud. I got in my car, pulled up unannounced to his house, and guess who opened the door, y'all?
The new girl? Or
Ding,
the
ding,
other
ding,
girl,
ding,
rather.
ding, ding, ding. Yes, the girlfriend. And I'm like, girl, if y'all know me, I'm fearless. I don't care how big, how tall, and how wide any female is. When I'm on red, anybody can get it. And I ain't gonna lie. So my sister and her boyfriend was with me, so at the time. And I'm like, is Donald here? And she like, yeah, he here. I said, well, he didn't come outside because he's supposed to see his son and he didn't. And she was like, well, you can bring him over here. I ain't gonna lie, I was rude to her. Cause I was mad. You know what I'm saying? Get out my face. Donald come outside. Me and her arguing. He come outside taking up for her. I'm like, I'm mad. You was supposed to come see your son. You didn't come see your son. Even though he was like couple months. You know what I'm saying? It was just I think it was the buildup of me feeling belittled because he has that child that I went so hard. You know what I'm saying? So me and him start fighting. At this point, I'm scrapping. I hit him first. We boxing. His girlfriend jump in. I'm fighting them both. You feel me? Now my sister jumping in. Now her boyfriend jumping in. It was a big old brawl.
Who had the baby?
My mom, I mean my grandma.
Oh, so the baby wasn't there.
He was baby wasn't there. I wasn't because I knew what I was going for.
Got it. Okay.
You know, you know.
Premeditated
Yeah.
ass kicking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me make sure. Yeah. Shout out, rest in peace, Mama Lee Ruffin. My grandma had the baby. Yeah. I went out there, it was a big ass brawl. I ain't gonna lie. One thing about Hazel Marie, y'all can say what y'all want me, her can fall out, but when I swing, my sister gonna swing. That's off the flip. And after that, I just quit communication. I didn't let him see his son. He will call. Deontay, shout out, she's a great aunt. You know, she will call, like, can he get him? No, no, no. I was mad at this point. So a couple, like, I was like a month and a half, 2 months. I could be inaccurate, but it was a long time. So a couple months go by, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let Donald see his daddy. I need to stop being petty and putting my emotions to hurt this man and not let him see his child because but I felt like that was just wrong. Portia, I really feel like you should never jumped in. Like that wasn't your fight. You feel me? But we was young and I understand you wanted to show your loyalty to my child's father. Oh, disclaimer. Like after that, I did bust out her windows and stuff, and she took me to court and I had to pay back reparations. It's some, minor details I'm not telling, but y'all know how the baby mama goes. And yeah, I was gonna blow up her car. But back on a couple months, goes by, I call him up. I'm working at McDonald's at the time. And I'm like, hey, I want to work an overnight shift. You want your son? He's like, yeah, I do want him. I said, okay, where can I meet you to drop him off? So he's like, here, da 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 da. So I remember pulling up and his sister was with him. Deontay was with him. And I handed Deontay the car seat. And Donald reached for baby Donald, and I moved back. And I said, hey, Donald, when you get baby Donald, don't give him, Deontay was right there. Don't give him to your mom. Don't give him to your sister. Shay don't need to be having him 24/7. You haven't seen your son in a long time. You need to spend time with him. You promise? He's like, give him here. Yeah, yeah. So I handed him off, got in my car, and I drove off. So when I drove off, I go back to work and I'm at McDonald's and my phone is just ringing like, ding, ding. I'm like, dang, like it's a number I don't know to keep calling back to back. So I pick up and it's a detective saying, hey, is this Mila Ruffin? I say, yeah, this is me. They was like, are you the mother of Donald Vieira? I said, yeah, the baby. Are you able to come get him now? I said, what's going on? He's with his father. Like, why I gotta come get him? I'm at work. Like, he's with his dad. He was like, oh, well, I'm sorry to inform you that, Donald has been murdered. So at this point, I'm in shock. Like, I'm like, what? I'm thinking my son, my infant son, has witnessed a murder. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God, is my son hurt? They not giving me no detail. They just telling me I need to come up here. You feel me? So I go tell my manager, listen, my baby father just got murdered. I need to go get my son. And believe it or not, I know this sounds kind of fucked up. It wasn't an argument with my manager because death is so often in my city, which is really, really sad that we kill each other like that. You understand? He let me go. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I hate to say this, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I wasn't sad when I was in the car. I was so angry at Donald. I was so mad at Donald. And I went and I'm looking for my son because I remember I tell you I thought my son was, witnessed this murder. And I'm like, "Hey, where my son? Is he okay? Did he witness?" And, the friend that was with Donald, I guess when he died, was like, "No, the baby wasn't with him. He was with his sisters." So when I learned that, I'm not gonna lie, I got real, real mad. I got real mad. And I know that was it's kind of like sounding insensitive, like, "Oh, but he lost his life." But y'all gotta understand the background. I never had a chance to ever heal from anything he has done to me before. You feel me? So to know that he left my son when he promised me, when I left out, it was literally a couple hours. You understand what I'm saying? He left them again with his sisters when I begged him to promise me that he wasn't gonna leave him that night and went somewhere and got, I ain't gonna say ain't got murdered like he know, but and he got murdered, I was hurt because I'm just like, damn, he lied to me again. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you feel me? And I'm going through everybody saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," hugging me, and honestly, I'm not feeling sad. I just got my son and I left, and it's really insensitive when I think about it now. You understand what I'm saying? But I want y'all to know the I wanted y'all to know the background of our history so y'all can understand why I felt like that moment. You understand? So, I get in the car, and y'all know where I go to the vent? Yes,
Church?
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Oh
I
my
went to
god.
Facebook and I vented, which was not appropriate at all. I vented. I wrote like malicious things, like even in death, he's a deadbeat. You know, like I just wrote some very insensitive, cruel things that you know what I'm saying. That I feel like, regardless of how I felt in being a mother now, I shouldn't have done. But I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna give y'all my feedback in a little bit. So I'm on the internet. I'm saying that, some very mean things. And remind you, this man has not even been in the morgue for like 12 hours. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I gave birth to his first son. So, they like, damn, do she got something to do with it? You feel me? Like, oh, you would think that. You understand what I'm saying? So they was accusing me of, oh, the baby mama has something to do with it. Look into the baby mama. And I didn't know about this until after the funeral, but this is what they were saying to, I guess, amongst each other because of how emotionalist I was. And it wasn't emotionless because I wished death on him, because I most definitely didn't. It was emotionless because somebody has treated me bad for so long, so long. And the moment I tried to throw in the white flag or make truce, he lied to me again. And I feel like this in my heart. If he would have just sat at home with baby Donald like he promised, I feel like his son would have saved his life. What is the coincidence that the same night this man gets killed is the same night he see his son for the first time after months? You understand what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer that God gives you signs before destruction. It's always warning before destruction. I could have chose any other night to give him his son, but I chose to give him his son the night that he died. I don't know why. I don't know what made me call and ask him, but I know now it was for a reason. So we going back and forth on Facebook. His mom is arguing with my stepmom, and it's getting bad. Like family members at this point, because people are hurt, people are grieving, and people when they're hurt and grieving, they need somebody to blame. They need somebody to blame. We need to. At this time, they didn't know who killed Donald. They didn't know who murdered Donald. So, nevertheless, they finally found the man who killed my child's father. So, this is the article about him. It was a mistaken identity. I talked to some of the family members because I didn't know much about the case, because I told you I was kind of desensitized of what happened to him just because I had a lot of anger in me at the time. So this is the article. He did get murdered in Jackson County. Y'all can take the time to read. I really don't want to read it because I feel like I'm gonna cry. Um, but this is the man who this is the first time, well, second time of me seeing him because I researched it. I never knew what he looked like. And I want to tell the family, I never knew what the man name was, you know what I'm saying? Until I did research. So this is the man who allegedly, or no, he got convicted. So I can't say allegedly. He was convicted of my son's um father's murder. He's irrelevant, don't even matter. We're gonna blindly even I'm probably, yeah, he's irrelevant. So I went to the funeral, y'all. So they telling me, hey, you better not show up to that funeral. Yeah, of course I'm not welcome. I'm sitting up here talking shit about a man who dead. And you think I'm gonna be invited to a funeral? Do y'all think I'm gonna be invited to? No, I'm not. But nevertheless, I think I was invincible. But it wasn't even that I thought I was invincible. I felt like my son had a right to say goodbye to his father. So I pulled up to the funeral. And I was prepared to get jumped. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I was prepared to get jumped, but I was willing to get jumped to make sure my son was gonna be at that funeral. You feel me? And I wasn't giving them to none of his family members because we're beefing. I don't know what the hell y'all gonna do with my damn son. You feel what I'm saying? So I show up in my outfit. I put my son down at the end of the church because I was near the ushers. And I knew at least if I get jumped, they're gonna break it up. And I let my son for the first time walk by himself. And he walked right to his dad's casket. And I felt like that was a great moment. Like, and let me tell y'all, it was an open casket. When I seen my child's father in that casket, reality hit me, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I seen my son's face laying down. And at that moment, I took accountability like, damn, that could be my son. Like, that's like, fuck. I'm saying all this BS because I'm mad, and my son looked like he in a casket. So after I snapped that reality, his auntie Deontay picked him up. You know, the crowd got up. Aunties coming from left, uncles coming from right. At this time, I know it's time to go. It's time to get the fuck up out of here. So Deontay like, give me him. I'm like, no, Deontay, I'm not leaving my baby with y'all. We not on good terms. Well, you need to leave. I said, listen, let me leave. I'm just letting my son say his respects regardless of how I feel. Just let me go. You feel me? I was prepared. I was prepared for the jump. You feel me? But y'all was gonna come down with me. But I was prepared for it. So they let me leave and I let them do their, their service. And at the time, Portia was pregnant. So she was having his second child when he got murdered, but I didn't know until the funeral. Um, that was a moment, y'all. That was a big moment. I think for me to realize that fuck, I am belittling a woman regardless of how she feel about me. She has a reason to hate me. Imagine you trying to plan your son's funeral and an insensitive woman is badgering and starting drama and talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was cruel. You feel me? And I want to take a moment out while we're talking about this, and I want to apologize to his mother. I want to apologize to his family. I want to apologize that at the time, I was immature. At the time, I didn't know how my words and actions could affect probably even how you feel about my son now. You understand what I'm saying? I want you to know, like, I never had a hate for Donald. It was more of a broken heart because I feel like on numerous times I tried to be a good baby mother and I was slapped in the face. You understand? But nevertheless, it doesn't excuse the actions that was performed by me. You feel me? I said some very cruel things when you are trying to lay your son to rest that no mother should even have to experience. You should have full support and full peace of mind during that season, regardless of how I felt. It was very selfish of me. So I do want to give a sincere apology to my son's father, his family. I want y'all to know I never had nothing to do with that murder. I don't even know who the man is. But I could see your concerns on why you would thought that I can be implicated in it. You feel me? Because I was emotionalist. And I hope, even if it doesn't make things better, I hope this story can at least clarify the way I felt. Because at the moment when he died, we never got closure. We never had a time to sit down and say, you know what? You're the mother of my child. You're the father of my child. Let's call it truth. We literally, when he died, it was really at the worst part of our beef. You feel me? So again, I apologize. And women out there, if you are going through baby daddy, baby mama drama, whether you're pregnant or whether you're not pregnant and you're feeling any type of way towards your child or your children, please seek help. Postpartum depression is natural. Postpartum depression, most women, if not all, go through it. Make sure you distance yourself from any toxic situation and make sure sometimes it's just better to walk away than to engage into something, especially when you have high hormones going on. And that's what I did. I never gave myself to heal, not only mentally, but physically. I was always trying to win. And at the end of the day, I lost because they really isolate themselves from me that they really didn't help me with Donald for a long time. The only person I really had, and I think the reason why she did help me is because Deonsha been knowing me since I was like we was kids. She know I wouldn't really have nothing to do with her brother's death, but the other family didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times they distance themselves from my son because of that thought in the back of their mind. You feel me? And again, I want to apologize to my son. I wouldn't say I'm the reason why probably some of your family members are distant, but I do want to apologize how I attacked your father in his demise. That wasn't good of me and it wasn't high of me. And he did love you regardless of the trials we went through. Cause I know I told a lot of bad stories, but a lot of times he did love you and he did have fun with you, especially when Portia came to light finally. Finally came to light. And shout out to Portia, amazing stepmother, even in death. My son has an amazing relationship with his stepmother. Me and her are damn near best friends. She's a wonderful person. I'm so happy that my child's father brought her into my son's life. So, ladies, you could be a blessing. You sitting up there hating a new girlfriend, but when I tell you when I need a babysitter, Portia comes. She comes through. Christmases, she's buying him stuff. Birthdays, she's there. If I'm short on something for Donald, she got him. Tennis shoes, got him. His auntie the same way. So don't miss your blessings being so mad at the situation. Sometimes you have to just suck it up. So that will conclude today's story time on how I predicted my child's father's death. I hope you learned a lot. And if you want something to talk about, you want me to talk about, you want to learn something about me, drop a comment on the bottom below, and I'll go ahead and engage with you. Again, it's Grace Miko in the city. You can find me on all platforms. I just want to say I love everybody, and it's nothing wrong from getting counseling and taking care of your mental health. It's nothing wrong with it, Black people. I love y'all. I'm out. Bye. Mwah.
With the gangsters, all the people you don't